Welcome to the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. I am Peju Bamgboshe Roethlisberger, and
Hi, I'm Naomi Bamgboshe.
this is season 2, episode 6. How are you, Mom? What's up, Mom?
I'm doing wonderfully, sweetie. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's football.
Oh, I know you're a
Yeah.
little bit sad that your team didn't make it.
Mm.
Listen, I was disappointed way back when Russell Wilson was injured, and so I knew his team wasn't going to make it. So he's my favorite. And after he didn't make it, I was only half-heartedly interested anyway. And now Mahomes is out. Oh, well, Jimmy G is out. Tom Brady is gone.
Ma, we were going to talk about Tom.
Okay,
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
okay.
Just very dramatic today, I see. Okay, so
I grew to like Tom Brady.
then why do you like Jimmy G, Ma?
Yeah.
What?
Jimmy G's cute.
Okay, good. Okay, so what are we sipping on today? So
Why
we're
do I
sipping
like
on.
Russell Wilson? He too is cute.
Well, no, you
Okay.
better get away from him because
Oh,
that's
I know,
Sierra's
I
man.
know.
So
But I
stop.
know, I like him because he's a family
Jimmy
man.
G is I think he's single. So
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So, what are we sipping on today? So, it's gin today.
Jen.
So,
Does this
gin.
Jen have a name, daughter?
Yes, it's called Du Nord, and this is Du Nord Prominence Gin. Now, there's a lot of different spirits within his. He has a lot of different spirits. The founder, Chris Montana, but we're drinking gin today. So you can go check it out on Reserve Bar in Drizzly, and it's called Du Nord Prominence Gin.
Spell that name, Dunard.
D-U
D-U-N-N-A-R-D.
N-O-R-D.
N or one N?
One N. One N for Naomi.
Okay, thank you. All right. So
All right. So Ma, you're gonna do a toast to Mr. Tom Brady because that's what we're gonna get
I
into.
could have just turned the bottle around and read the label. Okay. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Ma.
Long life and prosperity, health, wealth, and happiness.
Okay, cheers to Tom Brady. Cheers to 22 years.
Cheers to Tom Brady. And 22 more and 44 more.
Whoa. Ooh.
Woo-woo.
Okay. Needed a chaser, but good gin. Okay, Ma. So we started it off with Tom Brady. So 22 seasons, 10 Super Bowl appearances, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 3-time NFL MVP, 15 Pro Bowls, and 6-time All-Pro. Mr. Tom Brady.
7 rings.
And did I not say 7 rings?
No.
I said 10 Super Bowl appearances. My bad. 7 rings.
You didn't say 7 rings.
I didn't.
Hey,
it's the gin.
The
gin is already getting to me.
Okay.
So what do you think about Tom Brady?
Come on, you knew it was coming sooner or later. And apparently the person who leaked it a couple of days ago knew, but they wanted to do it in their own time and space, the way they wanted to do it.
You mean Tom Brady wanted to do it?
Yeah, and his whole, machine, his people and everything. Mm-hmm. So, look, what can you say? Great for Tom. Tom's got other businesses. He has some different channel and clothes.
TB12, his TB12 line.
Yeah, he has all kinds of things going already. Mm-hmm. And then he has 3 children, and he has sons coming up, teenage sons, and at least one of them is a teenager, maybe both of them, and his little daughter. I mean, he's got his plate is full. His plate is full already. Mm-hmm. What he needs to do is figure out when he's going to take a break. You know,
Yeah.
And him and Giselle do whatever they're gonna do and have a little, lovely time. Not that they don't have good times, but for him to, rethink what he's gonna do moving forward. I don't think he'll ever be too far away from the football world because I think that's just too much in his blood. And I think he's enjoyed it too much. I don't think it's something that he did throughout the years because he didn't like it.
Well,
I
there
think
was no
in him.
there was no reason for him to continue playing for as
Right,
long as
right,
he did.
right.
And you have never
Except that he likes it. And
and
I think it became a situation where, he looked at everything, he looked at the long-term plan and said, what more can I do?
yeah,
What more can I do
and you've
in
never
football?
and you've
You know,
never seen anyone his age play at the level that he's continued to
you
play.
better
And
bet,
he's
you
and
better bet.
he went
And
out on
he
the
went out
top.
on top. He went
Yeah,
out on top.
yeah.
Most of them you have to drag their arses off the field, but he, went out on top, and good for him.
So
And,
yeah,
and good for him.
so
So
yeah.
he'll have a wonderful career with whatever he wants to do.
So I
Second career.
thank
Mhm.
the thanks, man. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I didn't know I didn't like Tom Brady in the beginning. For many years,
Oh, yeah,
I
he
did
grew
not.
on me as well.
He,
I
yeah,
grew to respect him. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, because because being from the New York area, New York, New Jersey area, we had our battles with when the Giants went up against them. Although I wasn't a huge Giants fan, but I did always root for the Giants when they went against the Patriots. And I've just seen that Tom Brady, as he's gotten older, everything was planned, was calculated. Just he's regimented, and I just had a lot of respect for him as a champion. And I think that he's a much better person than we all realize. And it was because he kept everything kind of close to the vest. So, good luck for Tom. He's had a great run, the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
And
He's been
so,
very committed,
mhm.
very dedicated, and he certainly has been industrious. And he's been, I know this sounds kind of corny, but he's been like a really good model, a good role model for the younger players coming in. I
Oh, for
mean,
sure.
and just a wonderful ambassador, like I, always say, for the game of football
Yep.
and sports and for sportsmanship, period. You
Oh, for
know.
sure. He's a
So
goat. He's a
yeah,
goat.
oh yeah, he's a goat. And then,
So,
and that's just it. You got to give it to him hands down, yeah.
so let's talk about somebody else who, people were proclaiming to be the new GOAT, which is Patrick
Mm.
Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, lost against the Cincinnati Bengals this past weekend. But I know I've been telling you about this. I don't know how much you've been paying attention. There are a group of people who were actively rooting against Patrick Mahomes, not because they didn't like Patrick Mahomes, but because they couldn't stand his fiance, Brittany Matthews, and
And that
Jackson
baby
Mahomes
brother,
and the
that
baby
baby
brother.
brother of his, yes, yes.
Correct. So Brittany is known for being loud, her Twitter rants, doing
I guess
impromptu
obnoxious apparently as
Insta-
well.
correct, Instagram
Mm,
live during the
mm.
game. And one of the things that she did that really pissed people off was not this past game, but the game before last, when Mahomes, when the Kansas City Chiefs won, she popped the bottle of champagne and she sprayed it all over the lower tier seats, and it just went all over the fans. And she, of course, was sheltered because she was it wasn't pointed toward her, and she was in her little what do you call it? Her not booth.
She may have already been drinking too much.
She was
And did she apologize? Was she aware of it?
She said that she was just having fun. I don't know if she apologized about it. I know she said she was having fun. There's been a lot of issues with her. Then Jackson
Okay.
Mahomes. We know Jackson Mahomes is known for his TikToks, and they aren't particularly the most entertaining or funny, according to most people. And he also is known to try and use his connection with his brother to just get a lot of perks.
Well, of course.
It had gotten
That's the way hangers on are.
Well, it had gotten so bad to where a local Kansas City bar took out an ad in the paper and just kind of ripped Jackson Mahomes apart and was just saying how, some people, who aren't as talented use, their whoever their family members to get things, blah, blah, blah.
He's a hanger on.
And he also,
and it's terrible.
And he also danced on the logo of Sean Taylor, who was, who was killed during I think it was a break-in some years ago, and he disrespected a logo that they had on the field. So many different things.
I don't understand that. That seems like he's drinking and drugging too much, because that made no sense at all.
He apologized. He did apologize. Yeah. Maybe he didn't.
He apologized because that probably was drunken or a drug, and drug fueled behavior.
My question to you is, do you feel sorry for Mahomes, or do you think that Patrick Mahomes should do something to stop this behavior from his family, or you think he can't?
Guess what? I think both. I feel sorry for him, and I think he should do something to stop it. I don't think he can't. I think he may be reluctant to be that harsh. I think he may be reluctant to go there, but what he's going to do is stop, if he doesn't stop them, then he, in effect is upholding them. Okay. Because and I know, how much income does his girlfriend and his brother generate? Are they independently wealthy, or are they hangers on? He just needs to let them know. Girlfriend.
Well, he has a child with his fiance.
The girlfriend, fiance, whatever, ex-wife, whatever.
It's not they're not married.
But I'm saying it's irrelevant. She's not a current wife. And even if she was, look at all the athletes who have shut their wives down. Okay. Okay. Look at them. So no. Business is business. If he explained to them, listen, you guys, you think it's cute, you think it's funny, we live in well now, and the cash is flowing, but guess what? You're drying up potential income opportunities for me with your obnoxious and totally offensive behavior. And that all income is from me. I'm the cash cow, okay? And you're screwing with my income opportunities, okay? So you need to cut it. And if you don't shut it down, you all are going to get shut down, okay?
Oh wow.
No. He may not have to go that hard, but he's got to do something. But you say he can't. I'm telling you he can, because they depended on him for income. What do they do? What else do they do?
I think she's like a fitness person, and I don't know what the brother does.
Well, please. Okay. And I know that Patrick Mahomes is the star of that show.
Oh, of course.
And all he has to do is either inform them or remind them that they are having a negative impact on his income, which means there's by association, there's going to be a negative impact on their income.
Well, you know what?
Derived from him.
Well,
I'm telling you, say he can't. I'm telling you, he can.
Okay. Well, what I think is, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to make so much money at where he'll have enough money for generations to come. No. However, wait, Mom, let me say this.
Okay.
It may affect the dynamic within the team. It could affect the team.
Absolutely. It's already.
Well,
it's
yeah.
Already. Well, that's already affecting his relationship with the team.
People doing that. People will be mad,
Absolutely.
And I feel bad because
affects his income.
But can I just say this? Also, you remember Giselle shut people down too with Tommy, with Tom Brady many years ago. Remember that, when she was saying that Tom can't catch and
do
throw the
both
effing
things,
ball.
yeah, at the
Yeah,
same time. I
she,
remember, but that was a specific
she
episode.
apologized. She
And right,
apologized.
right, having to, but that was a specific episode regarding a specific game. That was
Mhm.
not a general negative attitude
Oh
where
no, for
where
sure.
she didn't insult anyone. She didn't
Oh,
insult
well, she did.
people. Well, to me, not so much.
Teammates.
Well, not well, teammates. Well, what were they doing?
But
Come on.
she apologized
She
and she
apologized
was
because
just
she was gracious and nice. Because a lot of people could say what she said was legitimate.
well, maybe it was,
Oh
but I'll
well,
just
all
leave that
right then.
alone.
Oh well, all right then. That's a different story. Don't forget, I remember exactly the incident that you're referring to, and she was not nearly offensive like these other people are.
Oh, of
But
course
anyway,
not.
but Patrick can shut them down. He can shut them down, and I'm telling you, he's going to need to shut them down. Otherwise, people going to start looking at him sideways. Okay,
Okay. All right.
that's how I feel. I feel Patrick needs to shut him down.
Okay, so since we're still talking about football, I don't know if you heard about this, Ma. So the NFL is under scrutiny again for not paying dancers for this upcoming football Super Bowl performance on February 13th.
You mean not paying them much?
No. Nope, that's nope. Apparently, apparently there are some players, not players, there are some dancers who aren't going to be getting paid. So the Los Angeles Times reported that audience members are in fact hundreds of unpaid volunteers who participate in nearly 2 weeks of rehearsals ahead of the Super Bowl, many of whom are trained dancers recruited from an agency that represents paid dancers who are going to be performing at the Super Bowl as well, the halftime show. And so, someone is just speaking out, a professional dancer who has performed at previous Super Bowl halftime shows. And she's saying that these people who they're saying are volunteers, they're not really volunteers because they come from the same agency and they have to attend 9 days of 9-hour rehearsals. So why aren't they being paid? Rock Nation and Fatima Robinson, who she says, who's choreographing the performance, is saying that this isn't true, that there are 115 paid dancers who are at the Super Bowl, and the other people who they are volunteers are only pretty much required to walk and chew gum at the same time. So we don't know exactly what's 100% correct, because some people are claiming that obviously it's more than just that, because they have to sit through rehearsals. But the choreographer is saying that they're just pretty much audience members that are who volunteered. So I don't know what your thoughts are on this, Mom.
My thoughts are all over the place because I don't know.
And neither do I.
That's number one. But I don't know what they mean about volunteer, because there's all kind of spins on the whole thing of volunteerism. A lot of organizations, agencies, situations seek volunteers because they don't have the money to pay people to do the job. Mm-hmm. Often volunteers are doing jobs that are kind of required, that may be more valuable and necessary than you think, but they're simply volunteering, like I said, because there's a lack of funding. That is not the case with the
NFL, yes,
or whatever, the NFL. Yeah. That's not the case. They have lots of money. So they should be, any service that they want or need, the NFL should be paying for it.
So they should be paying, yes, they definitely should pay at least the standard. What they're saying is that the NFL pays the lowest compared to, other different corporations and whatnot, and which is not good. But the volunteers aren't being paid.
Okay. Well, as I said, they should not even be. What do you mean volunteered? People just ran up out the street and said, "Ooh, let me be here," or did the NFL advertise and solicit for people to come volunteer?
Correct.
Okay, but no, the NFL should be not looking for volunteers. The NFL should be looking to pay They
Right.
should be paid because they have the money to pay. Volunteers is for things like community-based programs to help people, grassroots organizations, things like that. That's when you look for volunteers. You don't look for volunteers when you're one of the most lucrative organizations in the country.
I agree.
So no, anybody that they're requesting to come perform services for them or tasks or duties, they should be paying.
Of course. Well, I mean, I'm in total agreement with you on that, Ma. I don't think I need to go any further. I agree. I don't know the full story, but the NFL has a lot of money and they could pay these people. That's what I have to say.
Right. What do you mean volunteer? Either you asked them to do it or you didn't. And if you ask for their services, you should be paying them. And if you ask for their services and they're giving their services, even if they are sitting there filling seats, well, apparently you need people to do that. Otherwise, why are you soliciting for those people?
All right. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you heard about this. We're switching topics a little bit. A lot. I know you like Peter Dinklage, correct?
Yes, I do.
So Peter Dinklage, his comments about Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs have been making waves lately. Disney responded to Peter Dinklage's Snow White live action criticism, and Disney said, to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community. So Peter Dinklage obviously, just was really not happy with everything that was going on. He said, listen, no offense to anyone, but I was a little taken aback when they were very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but then you're still making, and I quote, that fucking backward story about 7 dwarfs living in a cave together. What the fuck are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause from my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough. And that's what he said to Disney. Now, to bring it forward, members of the dwarf community, dwarf actors in particular, have said that Peter Dinklage was going a little too far because they want the work.
I was getting ready to say, where was Peter Dinklage going with that?
Right. And they were not happy with that.
I'm not sure where he was going with that. Is he saying that they should have had less crowded housing? I mean, where's he going with that? Or is he saying there's some other type of stereotypes? Because the story was about 7 dwarfs.
Right. So
specifically what he said was this kind of obtuse. I don't know where he was going with that.
Well, Dylan Postal, who plays Hornswoggle, who's a leprechaun in the WWE for the past 10 years, has said that, Disney's decision to rethink the characters could take dream roles away, while viewers shared their, sadness and fury about the 7 dwarfs. So he was upset because he said that, well, I'm not going to play Superman. I'm not going to be able to play Batman. Who gives Peter Dinklage the right to be the voice of the dwarf community? So just what your thoughts are about that now.
I'm like I said, I kind of already have expressed my thoughts because they're very kind of limited in this area, because I have a big question for Peter Dinklage. I understand that you have, feelings about it and so forth. I totally understand that, but what I'm unclear about is what exactly is your objection, or what exactly are your objections? And there's no clarity in what you said. You just made a blanket statement, and I'm sure there's some very specific things involved in that statement that you feel, things that are not being addressed, or things that are being addressed offensively or inappropriately. You have not stated what I think that's the problem. Mm-hmm. What do you mean you have 7 fucking dwarfs living in a house? 7 people often live in a house of any height. if they're dwarf or if they're tall or if they're whatever. I mean, there's nothing offensive about 7 people living in a house.
Right.
What is offensive?
Well,
what is offensive? Are you saying the whole story should be, we should put the kibosh on the whole story? I mean, what is it? What is the offense? What exactly is the offense, or what are the offenses? I think Peter Dinklage did not delineate any of what his issues are.
I think that's the issue, and I hope that, and I love Peter Dinklage.
Oh, me too.
I hope, because I am not a little person.
I want him to come back in
and explain himself.
Yeah.
Explain himself.
Yeah.
And with that being said, if Disney is really consulting with members of the dwarf community, then hopefully there will be, many voices. Yes.
Right. But what they
like you said,
what they end up with is going to be a consensus.
Correct.
And from the way it looks, that may have already happened, because a lot of people are saying, Peter, what's wrong with you, man? We need this job.
Right.
We want to work.
Right. I don't think he thought about that.
I think Peter needs to come on in and say maybe more roles should be written for short people. More parts should be, or little people.
For little
more
people,
roles should be, written. You know what? One thing I was never, I was ambivalent about Phaedra. Okay, I was never a big fan of hers, but Phaedra always.
Everybody doesn't know Phaedra.
Oh, Phaedra, who used to be on the Real Housewives of Dallas, and she's been on a couple.
No, she was not on the Real Housewives of Dallas.
The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she's been on a couple of other things too. But look, guys, I did have a little shot. Okay, so but anyhow, and I am in Dallas. Okay, so but all right. So anyhow, I don't want to belabor that, but Peter Dinklage, let us hear from you again. We want to know, Peter, what's the offense? Because we want to get it right.
Okay. Well, okay, I agree with you. All right. So there's an update on Spotify and Neil Young. So we know that Spotify has lost $2 billion in market value because of all of this stuff regarding, Joe Rogan. I don't really want to get into it. Joe Rogan has come out and kind of apologized and, said that, he wants pretty much to everyone to have a voice, blah, 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 and all this other stuff, that type of thing. He said some other things. I'm not going to go into that because we have a long podcast. India Arie has come out and also has taken her music off of the platform.
Good on you, India.
She said she didn't do it just because of COVID. She also has some issues with the way that he expresses or deals with race. So she mentioned
wonderful.
That.
Even better.
Yes.
Even better, India. Good on you.
And Joni Mitchell, of course, is having her music.
Joni Mitchell, yeah.
And
come out too.
And Harry and Meghan have expressed the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have expressed some concern.
And who
with Spotify? And Meghan Markle have expressed concern with the way that they deal. Right.
I love that.
The way that they deal with COVID misinformation. So, we will see, but, we'll see what happens from there. I just wanted to give everybody an update on that. And also Apple was really cool because Apple sent a spotlight to Neil Young saying that this is the home of Neil Young. So I thought that was really
nice. All right. I'm a Neil Young fan.
Can I just say, I believe that everyone should have freedom of speech. I also think that when people purposely spread misinformation, that there should come a label that says that. But we all have the right to express ourselves.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So here's something. Have you ever heard of this thing called slugging?
No, daughter. I don't think I've heard of slugging except in the old-fashioned way, meaning to hit somebody. Give somebody, and also the bug or whatever it is, that vermin, the slug, right?
Okay, well you're not really, you're not too far off when you said about hitting someone. So it is a beauty trend that is just like booming right now on YouTube, And it is when you sleep with a thick layer of petroleum-based product, in particular Vaseline, on your face that creates a barrier between your skin. So, and external disruptions. So it leaves you with like a super plump looking face, skin in the morning.
So it helps with wrinkles.
Yes. So apparently,
and folds and so forth.
So here's the thing. Black Twitter, which we always like to shout out, Black Twitter said, really?
All right, shout out Black Twitter.
Black Twitter said, really? You guys are just discovering this? Vaseline has been a staple in the African American community.
Yeah,
I have my Vaseline.
I have a couple of jars.
And it's like
everything.
And the thing about the face, actually, the thing about the face that works and it doesn't work, because if you have oily skin, it could backfire on you.
Right.
So
it clog up the pores. Right?
Exactly. So it's not necessarily, I'll leave that alone. But I use Vaseline, very often. Like I use Vaseline every day. I use Vaseline.
And then you may want to use it on different parts of your body.
My lips, my feet. I do.
Right.
It's just, and so
you may want to use it on different parts of your body. Now, if you don't use it on your face, you probably could use it on some other part of your body.
So I think that Black Twitter was just a little bit upset because they did an article about it in Bloomberg, and they didn't acknowledge how it's been a staple in Black homes. And so Black Twitter said, like, come on, guys.
Something Black people have been using it all along.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have anything else to say about that.
Well, they probably discovered petroleum jelly. They discovered it.
It's just no, but you know what? Well, I won't say anything because I was going to say something, but I might get in trouble, so I'll leave it alone. About somebody that I know that asked for some chapstick, and I said, "Oh, just use the Vaseline," but I'll leave that alone. Okay, so next.
But that was good. That was good. A good beauty tip and a good moisturizing tip.
That is correct. Okay, so let's talk about people and their relationship issues, which I don't really like to, but hey, it's celebrities. So Mr. Nick Cannon has been trending because he is having child number 8. Unfortunately, his one of his children passed away. Two months ago.
Yeah,
I think at the age of 5 months.
Oh, I thought he was only 7 months. Okay.
5 months.
Oh, I mean, that's even younger. I thought he was 7 months. Yeah. They had his mother. They interviewed his mother and asked her how she felt that Nick was having another baby so soon after Zen's death. And she was very gracious, I forget her words, but she was very gracious about the whole thing. I
just wanted to know what your thought was.
Yeah.
And it was with Johnny Manziel's ex-wife.
To me, even who the mother is almost irrelevant. In terms of how Nick is conducting himself. And you know what? I hope I'm wrong, but I really am almost starting to believe that he's having so many children because of his own illness. I'm starting to believe that because I'm not seeing any sensitivity, any warmth. I'm just seeing him going around breeding. And I know that's extreme.
Well, what about the women? What type of woman?
Well, and
I don't want to judge.
He's having them pay. He's having them by the type of women who do that.
And let me get off my high horse because I don't want to judge another woman because that's your choice, what you decide to do. But we see something is not right. We see that. And then, you can get on there and say, oh, well, this is how, things were and blah, 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 blah. No, I mean,
I hope I'm wrong.
No, something is just not right.
I hope I'm wrong. I've heard this sentiment, echoed before. It's been stated by a number of different people. I've read it and on different platforms and whatever. I really am wondering, is he really that anxious to be a parent? Because how many children do you need to have to be a parent? And why are they all? He only has 2, I think, by Mariah. And everybody else is
I think he
one.
has 2 by someone else.
Well, you know, good for
But
him.
that
Then
was
he's got the other four, whatever, by
mhm.
different women, you know, or 3 or 4 or whatever. Look,
And he's not opposed to having more children. Well, listen, the things that listen, positive vibes, and I hope that everything will be okay with him, the children. I
look,
don't
good health to
understand
those
it,
babies.
and
Just good health to those
and
babies.
and if I and if I all I could say, if I was a woman, well, I am a woman, but if I was a single woman, dealing in that whole situation, I would just avoid Nick Cannon. I think that he works too much.
Those
First of all, he
those
works
women,
too much to have enough time
listen,
to
those and they're in too many different households.
too many different households,
But
right?
look, those women want to have babies by Nick, and that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, maybe they think he's very virile or whatever they think. They know he can make babies. Those women want to have babies by Nick.
And at this
I'm not
point,
going to go any further.
and at this point, he doesn't have enough money to take care of all those kids.
Well,
but I'll leave that alone.
I'm not even gonna comment on that, except to say those women are making a very conscious choice, a very conscious choice about Nick, because anybody who knows him, he's been on TV for years. Everybody knows who he is, and everybody knows his post Mariah history, which is a bunch of babies, and they're choosing to have a baby by him. They certainly don't have to choose to have a baby by him to have a relationship with him, but these women are choosing to have babies by him.
And I don't think he wants to have a relationship with anyone. That's a whole nother story.
So be it.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't seem to have any commitment to anybody. Right. But hey, these women see it and they know it, and they purposely want to do it. So
okay. Like I said, positive vibes to all involved, in particular the children who
you better
they're innocent.
Good health to the children is That's what right. I say.
Okay, speaking of someone else who does his own thing, Mr. Kanye West. Now I know you saw this recently, where Pete Davidson was claiming, at least his crew. I don't know if we haven't heard Pete Davidson actually come out and say this, so I don't want to say this, but people in his crew, DJ Academics, said that Kanye West was going around spreading rumors that Pete Davidson has AIDS.
I did hear that, but I just took it as a bunch of nonsense. I just took it as Kanye just behaving badly. Okay. Kanye and all his people, whatever. I just took it as him behaving badly, because if he did have AIDS, I don't think Kanye would be the first one to know.
That is true.
And I don't think Kanye would be privy to his medical information, and I don't think it's true. That is, if it's true,
I don't think it's true either, and it's none of his business. If it is true,
why would Kanye be the one to announce it to everyone?
Right.
Kanye would be the one to announce that. I don't think so.
Well, his people are saying that he is not. He didn't say that. So I don't know how it got spread, but that's out there.
But Kanye is not above saying stuff like that.
Right.
He's not above making up nonsense.
With that being said, I don't think it's true, and I also think it's bullcrap. That's what I think. Okay. So, Rihanna is pregnant with ASAP Rocky. She revealed her baby bump in a really cute little photo shoot in Harlem. What are your thoughts on that, on Riri?
Oh, I say, Rihanna, that's so nice, because that means you want a baby, and that's so lovely. That's so nice. And you have your reasons why you chose the father that you chose.
I think she loves him, I would imagine.
Well, something like that, and that's just lovely. I think that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful.
I like to
good
see
luck
that.
to you, Rihanna, and good health for the baby. I think that's wonderful.
Happiness to them. Hope they have a happy life. Hope that the baby is happy.
Rihanna, I don't think has had such an easy time with these different relationships. I don't think she's had an easy time of it.
know. I don't know.
Now, I know she's had rich people and all that nonsense, but I don't think as far as somebody that, maybe makes her heart sink.
But a lot of women can say that.
Well, I didn't say that, but I'm saying I think she's had her relationship struggles. And that's lovely. Has somebody now she wants to have a baby by.
Well, yes, of course. I think that's great.
And not everybody has had that experience. That's lovely for her.
And finally, Adele, there's been a lot of little different speculation with Adele because she postponed her Vegas residency. And a lot of people were saying that it's because of her relationship issues with Rich Paul. She recently posted on Instagram that she's going to be performing next week and blah, 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 blah. And, and Rich says, I don't know if she said Rich says hi. I don't have the information in front of me, but she mentioned Rich so that people would know that, her and Rich are good. But that's why people think that she postponed her residency and not because of COVID. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Mom, but before you go in with that, I will say that whatever is going on in her personal life is her personal life, that's for her to deal with and not for us to necessarily speculate. But we've all had times when dealing with a relationship where things weren't necessarily going the way that we wanted, and we were having some rocky times and we needed a mental health day. So I don't begrudge her or want to say anything, disparaging about that, but just wanted to know what your thoughts were on this.
Adele, I don't know if she's struggling in the relationship or not, because like you said, we all struggle in relationships, or we all have struggled in relationships. And I hope she'll work it out. I hope she'll find happiness, and I hope they'll work it out. I don't know. I don't know how she handles her emotions. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they've broken up or they're just having some issues. And the
post that she made recently tried to make it seem as though everything was good with her in the relationship, so she would let people know, because that stuff was circulating. I just wanted to kind of know what your opinion was in general of, when things may not be going well in your relationship and it just kind of may stop you from doing your daily activities.
Well, what can happen, this is the hope. The hope is that whatever is going on in your relationship, that you're able to cope with it well enough that it doesn't have a long-term negative impact on your life, on your daily functioning. Everybody mopes for a while, mourns for a while. Everybody, a broken heart is an ordinary pain. Okay. And you're supposed to mourn for a while, and you're supposed to get over it so you can move forward. Okay, so the sooner she moves forward, the better it is for her, no matter what's going on.
I think that they, are probably, okay right now. Like I said, I don't know anything about what's going on with them, but I think I definitely think that having disagreements in a relationship is an ordinary pain. There's some things that are obviously more extreme than others. When you lose someone that is close to you, that's a whole nother level, and that
lose them how? Lose them to what? Lose
to illness, to death, that type of thing.
Well, that's
those types of things.
Thing.
That's a whole.
That's on a different level, right? But if you're having an argument, if you're not getting along or not seeing eye to eye, no, you're supposed to be.
It hurts.
Yeah, right. It hurts. You're supposed to be able to confront the pain and work your way through the pain and move on to the next phase of your life.
Well, you know what? I think that's
supposed to happen.
I think that's what friends are for. I think the friends are there to cheer you up, to bring you some ice cream, some shots.
There you go. Friends can be very helpful at a time like that.
And I also think mental health days, I really think it's important. Like if you really are having those days, take day off. Don't go to work. Don't go into work.
Of course.
Messed up. You can't function.
Unless you're the type that has a job where maybe standing up on stage and singing out her heartbreak will help her. If that's the situation. For most people, it's not.
No.
But whatever works for you. I remember my godmother used to say when she would break up with a man, she'd drink have her a few drinks and maybe even a whole fifth. And one night it fall out and go to sleep, and the next morning, hey, keep it moving.
That was it. Yeah.
And
Well,
that was her ritual. That's what she would do.
now, and like I said, all of that stuff was alleged with Adele. We don't know what happened. We do know that she's saying that her and Rich are all good now. So let's just, so move on. Okay, so now let's get into some movies. So make sure we only had 2 movies this week. And the first one, I don't know if you need to take a shot for the first one, Ma. Do you need to take a
Which
shot?
is the first one that we're going to talk about?
House of Gucci. The House of Gucci, starring Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jared Leto, Jeremy Irons, Selma Hayek, and Al Pacino. And, it is based on the true story of a young Italian woman who was, she married an heir who was 50%, heir to 50% of the Gucci line. And this, of course, had tragic results, Mom. So, what are your thoughts on the House of Gucci? And guys, it is now on demand. It is on, I think it's on Amazon demand now.
House of Gucci. Okay. Lady Gaga wore beautiful clothes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as her portrayal of Mrs. Gucci,
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was a monster. I thought she was a monster.
Do you think that's what she was going for, though, with the role?
Yes. I thought that's what she was going for. Mm-hmm. And I thought she depicted a monster. Mm-hmm. She was bossy. She was greedy. She was jealous. She was cruel. The only thing I could say good about her is that she was stylish. Mm-hmm. She wore very beautiful clothes. Correct. Other than that, she became everything else that's negative.
Yeah.
I won't even talk about her as a parent because I really couldn't put together what kind of parent she was because they barely shed light on the fact that she was a parent. Mm-hmm. You knew she had a daughter, but that was about it. You didn't see anything there. And she was very controlling and bossy over her husband, mm-hmm. for the most part, to the point that he was like, I'm out, and, that eventually caused his demise. So I will say that I didn't like Jared Leto's character. I didn't like the character he played because he played just really
Paolo Gucci.
Paolo, right? He just played silly. He just was basically silly and disrespected and a poor money manager. And then when he did come up with a couple of good ideas, he somehow couldn't execute. Everything he did turned to crap. Okay, he died poor and everything. Okay, so what do you mean, Mom? If we're going to talk about it, I have to say certain things.
I know.
So, and then plenty of people already know the story anyhow.
I didn't know it.
Story. Well, I did know the story because I had actually seen a documentary, so I did know the story.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I didn't really recognize it at first, but yes, after watching it for a few minutes, I realized I had already seen.
After you watched it, after you were 2 hours in.
Yeah, yeah. So, but in any event, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. Just let me put it to you that way. I didn't enjoy it.
Can I? Go ahead, Mom.
And Gucci, I thought Gucci himself played well.
You mean Maurizio, Adam Driver?
Adam Driver. I thought he,
because they were all Gucci.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was a billion Gucci's. Al Pacino was a Gucci. They were all Gucci's. Yeah. I thought he handled his role very well. I thought he played it very well. And he was a somewhat likable character, for parts of it. Mm-hmm. And Al Pacino, well, Al Pacino was Al Pacino.
He was Al Pacino.
He was Al
He was just,
Pacino.
yeah,
So yeah. So, but I felt
just a little bit older.
I felt Gaga played her role very well,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought it was just a very, very unlikable character. And I didn't enjoy the picture. I didn't enjoy that. I think it just sort of, I think in places it really, well, there was big lulls in the action.
Oh, I completely agree with you, man.
Yeah. So I just overall was pretty disappointed in the whole production.
Well, you know what I thought about it? Like you said about Gaga, I thought Gaga did a really good job of playing that role. I thought that part was good. She wasn't likable. I think the way that they portrayed the younger generation of the Gucci family, the Gucci empire, they made them seem like they were just really incompetent and very foolish. Gaga had nice clothes. Like I said, I lost interest several times within the picture, and I thought Salma Hayek's character Pina, I just thought that was ridiculous. And I like Salma Hayek. No disrespect to her at all.
Really, but, and I mean, and the way they had her behaving and the way she appeared, her appearance wasn't good.
And Salma Hayek is beautiful, and they had her,
and they just had her. They had her way, just sort of underdone, and she didn't appear attractive. She behaved foolishly. No, and she was an like a character.
She was,
so
was she supposed to be a medium? Was she supposed to be like a psychic?
Yes, she was like a fortune teller or something. Right. Yes, absolutely. And they had her appearing very stereotypically witchy. That's how they had her.
Right. Not like in a clever, fun, sexy way. There wasn't, it was very strange.
Yeah.
So enough on this. What do you give House of Gucci?
A 5.
So it's a premium?
Like low premium.
A premium.
Low. I give it a step above Hooch. I take it out of Hooch because of the beautiful scenery, clothes, the homes and the clothes, the homes, beautiful homes, beautiful furnishings, beautiful area and beautiful clothes. So I give it, you get credit for that because that makes it more pleasant. Imagine if those things had been drab, you would have really been screaming.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm kind of where you are with it, I wanted to say something different than you did for this, but I'm going with the 5 because I'm giving it the lowest possible you can do for premium because I thought Gaga's performance was good, even though she wasn't likable, and I really liked her clothes. So I'm giving it a low premium 5. Okay. Now the other picture, Needle in a Time Stack, starring Leslie Odom Jr., Cynthia Erivo, Orlando Bloom, Frida Pinto. So this was supposed to be some type of love story. Nick played by Leslie Odom Jr. and Janine was played by Cynthia Erivo. They are so in love with each other and everything is all perfect until Janine's ex, played by Orlando Bloom, and the character is Tommy, he tries to tear them apart by manipulating time. That's what this story is about. I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't know. Do we really think Orlando Bloom tried to tear them apart, or was that Leslie Odom's Nick? Really just sort of receiving it that way.
I don't know, but we do know it was a combination because remember Orlando Bloom, his only happiness he had was when he was with Janine, and he's this good-looking rich man. The only happiness he's ever experienced, true happiness.
But until he got with Alex.
Right. But that was weird too. That didn't even make any sense because, I don't want to go and tell people too much. I'm just gonna, do you want to give this a review?
I'll just say it involved time, travel, and obsession, not time travel in the way that we've probably seen it before, but time travel in a way that is well, most of these time travel things are kind of silly and convoluted, and I don't necessarily like them, but some of them are more clever and funny or entertaining than others. And this was none of that.
No.
Nothing. None of that.
No.
Not clever, not entertaining. And Leslie Odom's, aka Nick, was obsessive over Cynthia Erivo. And and just somehow very unhappy with Alex.
Frito Pinto.
Yeah, with Frito Pinto, whatever. And
she was Latika from Slumdog Millionaire.
Right. And that's how I remember her. She was okay, not remarkable. She was just okay. Cynthia Erivo, listen, this is what I want to say. This is where I'm at right now with her. In my opinion, she's a better singer than actor based on the things that I have seen her do. I have not seen her shine in any role. I think she was in Widows.
She was in Widows, and she was in, did you see the Harriet movie? Did you not see
I don't know if I actually saw it or not, but
okay, no worries, ma.
I haven't seen her in anything where I think she really did shine. Now, I haven't seen her in every vehicle, and I may need to continue to, keep an open mind and see her performance in some other things, because sometimes people get a lot of, mediocre movies and whatever. She didn't shine as Aretha Franklin to me at all. She almost had no affect throughout the whole thing, a little bit more when she sang. But in terms of her acting, I didn't see it. I didn't connect with her. I didn't see the energy. I didn't see the connection. I didn't see the charisma. I didn't see the charm. I didn't see anything when she was acting, and I don't know if she thought that's how Aretha was or if that was Cynthia Erivo. But anyway, she was in this movie, and she was is she a femme fatale? Like they used to have back in the old days. I mean, you couldn't see Cynthia Erivo in that role. She didn't show it with her actions. She's not that physically, and she certainly didn't show it with her attitude, her swagger, her charisma, nothing. I didn't see it. So, Leslie Odoms, whom I'm a fan of, I love his singing. I couldn't really get the obsession with Cynthia Erivo. I didn't connect with that.
I thought that they both were lacking something in this movie.
I've seen Leslie Odoms, really do better on
Broadway.
Law and Order.
Oh, well,
playing the Reverends or Law and Order. I see him do, because he had more energy.
Yeah,
and he was an advocate.
Yeah.
So once again, this is another kind of sucky movie.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm gonna start with my review and then you go to yours. I'm gonna give it a hooch. I'm gonna give it a high hooch just because we've seen worse pictures and we know that the cast is talented in some type of way, whether it's singing.
They're both better singers.
Yeah,
they had two singers on there trying to act. That's what it was,
right? And so I'm gonna give it a 4.5 hooch. That's where I'm gonna go with it. Where are you, man?
Well, I'm gonna give it a 4, and the reason I'm only I would go 4.5.
Hooch 4.
Yeah, it's going hooch, and the only reason, I might almost give it a 5, but I'm not going to give it a 5. It's going, a whole grade below because the environment was so stark. They had nice houses, apartments, or whatever they were that they lived in, but they were so stark. There was nothing, there was no color. Everything was either black and white or gray. And it was just very cold and unpleasant. And I didn't appreciate that. It was cold and unpleasant. Every environment they were in was kind of like that. And their acting left a lot to be desired. So I thought it all was very soulless kind of, acting, soulless environment, that they were in. And they, just really drab. So they just get a 4. They get a 4 from me.
Okay. Well, on to a documentary, and it is Janet's documentary, of course. And this was a 4-part documentary, came in, I guess it's 2 nights.
Janet,
So,
yeah.
for me, I love Janet. I love her very much. And the watching the documentary made me go back and watch some of her concerts, or watch them, period, some of the ones that I just hadn't seen. And she was just amazing on stage.
Absolutely.
So for me, I didn't get much from this documentary at all. Like I said, I'm a fan of Janet, so I watch whatever, she puts out, but I didn't learn much. I did like the old footage of Renee Elizondo, because I didn't really know much about him at all. I just knew that they were married, and that was pretty much it.
Right.
I learned that apparently Justin Timberlake had reached out to Janet during this whole thing in the beginning, and she told him not to make a statement.
Right.
I thought that was odd. I didn't really quite understand that. I found out that during the Scream video shoot that it wasn't fun for Janet, and that the competitiveness that we saw in the video that we thought was all, fun and play, artistic, that was real. That was what they were doing, the people
And
behind
that
the
they were
scenes.
actually recording at different times, not
Yeah,
together, one during the day and one at night.
that was
And
not cool.
yeah, and that was very unfortunate. And also, there was a revelation that they hadn't been as close since Thriller, because she
Yeah.
talked about how they would get together and listen to all his albums, and they would comment on what they liked or didn't like about the album. But when he made Thriller, that changed, no more. So there were certain revelations for me, but go ahead. I didn't want to
No,
interrupt you.
no,
We
it
could
was
do a
just,
whole thing on Janet.
yeah,
There was so much.
there was the two other things that stood out for me. Jermaine Dupri, I knew obviously that they were together for years, that he cheated on her. That was also trending. How could you cheat on Janet? And when I see people say that in general,
That's
obviously
ridiculous.
I don't care how beautiful you are,
To
how successful you
me,
are. That's why
me,
they do that sometimes,
because you are, yeah, to me, she'd
yeah,
be easy for him to cheat on, because he would feel that inevitably she's going to dump him.
she's going to leave him.
Right. So to
Right.
me, she'd be, a person that somebody like him would cheat on. And
Right.
that for right now, he's just soothing her ego or whatever she needs, right now in her life, but that she really didn't have a long-term plan for him. I understand that completely.
And
So
then
when
what?
he says being a man, I'm like, please,
That was ridiculous to
cut
say
the
that.
crap,
I didn't,
please.
just come on, because you could say being a woman. What is that?
Right,
Come on,
right,
you're
right.
having sex with a woman.
Right.
What are
There
you
you go.
doing?
There you go. So when
So
he said that, I'm like, come on, Jermaine, you know better. Don't even come with that.
and
But no, but go.
and then the other thing for me, and I think me and you discussed this, and you can go and tell me what happened. How did she meet her last husband? That I know they are divorced now. The third, well, no, not the third husband, the second husband, right? No, third. It
That
would
was
be
her
the third
husband.
husband.
That was her third husband.
How did they meet? What happened with that whole situation? We don't have to know that, but she
He
just
didn't.
glossed over it.
He didn't want to. He didn't want to be, in it. And they only showed. I really didn't see her son, but they did show a little of him somewhere along the line. I must have blinked and missed him.
You and me
But
both.
I read or whatever somewhere that they showed a little bit of the son. But like I said, I didn't see him. But I think he opted to not be in it. He wasn't in it or referred to or whatever. I think that's an agreement Janet had with him, because look, everybody else was in it. Okay. Renee Elizondo, look, they went and dug up James DeBarge.
Yeah.
Okay. He was in it, a bit.
Well, was
right?
Renee Elizondo in it
Renee
currently?
was in a lot.
No, but he wasn't in it now.
Well, but they had a lot of footage of him, and he had to agree
because he did it.
Yeah, but wait a minute. But they had to understand that, but he had to agree with that.
That's true. That's true.
So and Renee was a big part of her, everything. And that was fair, that was good, and that was right, because he was her lover and manager and everything. And they all testified that he was really had her back, so let's give credit where credit was. No,
until he had an addiction problem.
Well, I don't know how much that addiction was or not or whatever. But anyway,
But no, you're right, Ma. You're right.
whatever. And many people have addiction problems. But what is it? Are you out in the street, the smoking pipes to earn money, for drugs? Or are you able to control your own, or you have just a minor drug addiction to where, you just need to go to rehab for, a few months or something? Or is it a lifelong,
oh my
thing?
gosh.
No, well, it can be a lifelong struggle. I got
No, I
that.
know, Bob,
But
but the things
some people's addictions are more severe than others. That's just
I
the
got
truth
it.
of it,
I
you
got it,
know.
Mom.
So, but anyhow, I think it also matters what age you are. When you start the addiction real young, you can imagine it's a bigger struggle simply because you have less experience with life.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
but when you started with even 10, 15 years older, you have a lot more resources, you have a lot more experience, and you can cope with it better. So, but they were all in it, from James DeBarge to Renee Elizondo to Jermaine Dupri. Those were significant men. I'm sure she had a few others in between, lesser, less serious relationships, but those were her major ones. And this last husband is the only one that they did not even refer to. They didn't even, I don't recall them even referring. The only time she said something about my husband and I are having a family when she was pregnant, and that's the only time I heard her even refer to him. She didn't, and she did not refer to him by name. Couple minor revelations for me is that she, said that Renee had some addiction. Like I said, I don't know what that means really, how severe, whatever, but she did mention that Renee had an addiction. And this is the first time I ever heard her. She probably has said it before, maybe in print or something like that. The first time I heard her talk about what her contact had been with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
First time I ever heard her say directly that her talk about her relationship with James DeBarge. Everybody knew they were married, but nobody heard her talk about the severity of his addiction and how it impacted on her directly, and how she struggled with it like every other young woman may have done, how she looked for him in the street because she was worried, and
And she was a baby then. She was 18.
yeah, she's just a teenager, yeah. But she did it. But she could have been a baby and not have gone through that. But she went through that, and that develops you. That's how you develop as part of your experience, And I appeared to love him, or she thought she did. But anyway, she denied the existence of a baby by DeBarge. And you could take that wherever you wanna, because they certainly printed it. They certainly wrote about her being pregnant by James DeBarge back in the day. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But being that there's a 16-year age gap between her and her oldest sister, Rebe would certainly have been a perfect candidate to take the baby and raise it. And Rebe already had kids,
Well, listen,
No.
listen, Ma. I hear everything that
not,
you're saying, but we're gonna stand by what they say. I think they're. I
what
think
they who say.
what we're gonna stand by what Janet says, but
Okay.
but I don't think that they addressed it efficiently enough,
Sufficiently. Yeah,
sufficiently.
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why,
right.
sufficiently
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
But if that's what they say, that's what they say. We go.
So yeah. Well, that's how she discussed it, is what I'm saying. There was no
Yeah,
big revelation there, is all
there
I'm
was
trying to say.
correct.
And then sometimes media is wrong. Anything could have happened. She could have just gained weight and they took it and ran with it, whatever. Anything could have happened.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what made me start to discredit it a little bit. Not what you said, daughter, just a minute ago, but what made me really discredit it a little bit is because the child that they showed, that was the one they were referring to as being Janet's child, did not look like a child that would have been produced by Janet and James DeBarge. Now, it could have been, but when I saw the child, You know how sometimes you look at it,
Yeah.
oh boy, I see him, I see her, I see whatever. I didn't see either one of them. Neither the child didn't look like either one of them.
Got you.
So that made me think maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe really not. So but you can't, of course, that's no guarantee, but I'm just
Right.
saying, just a layman's way of viewing things. So, but in any event, you know what? Janet was always magnanimous, always forgiving everyone for everything.
Mhm.
Whatever she went through with Justin Timberlake, she was very gracious.
Well, but what about Justin Timberlake? That's what we aren't really talking about because she says he reached out to her and she told
Yes,
him,
she
"Don't
did.
make a statement."
Yes, she did.
Do you not believe, or are you saying that you think that she was just giving him a
I
pass?
think
Or
that's
do
how,
you
yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the way she was depicted throughout this whole thing is that whatever she went through, everybody got a pass.
is
You
that how
got
you
it?
feel?
Like
You think that
like
she
the
is
Buddha, like the Buddha.
the Buddha?
Yes. I understand
I wish everyone could
life
see.
and
I
I'm
wish everyone
beyond
could
that.
see your
Yes.
demonstration, ma.
Yes, she was, life has a bigger, deeper meaning. And I understand I went through that. And she was
Good,
just sort of above it all. And which,
good.
frankly speaking, guess what? I loved it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that attitude, you need to get that attitude because guess what? Things are going to happen. You aren't going to be so happy about them. You're going to have the ups and the downs, and you got to get through it all, And so I was kind of happy. I'd much rather see that than see her saying, I'm still bitter.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
baby,
Where did that
I'm
come from?
whatever. I'd much rather see her saying, well, we talked and I said this and I said that. She didn't say she was never angry. She's just sort of spoken and presented it in a gentle and subdued way. So she's just sort of spoken about it. And I thought she was, like I said, I thought she was very magnanimous, very generous, very gracious about the whole thing. I don't think she denied being upset about all of it at different points in her life, but I think what she was saying is that she was able to confront it and come to a place of acceptance of what happened and move on.
Okay.
And that's what I thought. And I'm making jokes and everything about it, but I think she's there because I think she needed to be there to move forward.
Okay.
Otherwise she'd be consumed by a whole lot of negative external things. And she has not been, so she found
Okay.
a way of coping with it
Listen,
successfully.
I'm all for you. I love Janet. So whatever.
Me too.
Janet, whatever
Me
Janet
too.
says, Janet, yeah. So
Oh yeah.
okay. So the next show that we are
Oh,
watching.
also shout out to her brother Randy, who is
Oh,
a producer on it. Okay.
okay.
Shout out to
Okay.
her brother Randy Jackson. Okay.
The next show, which we aren't going to spend much time talking about because we've been running our mouths for a while now, is the after party, and there's many episodes left to go, so we can discuss more
Oh
next week.
yeah, that's with Tiffany.
So
Yeah.
yes, so it's starring Tiffany Haddish, Sam Richardson, Zoe Chow, and Dave Franco and Alana Glazer, and a couple other lovely people. So it's a story about a detective played by Haddish investigating the murder of a pop star at a high school reunion. And each episode focuses on a particular character's perspective of what happened that night. And so I think the finale is not until March 6th. So we will have time to come back and revisit this and talk more about it. But what are your thoughts so far
Well,
on the
this
after
was just
party?
the first episode.
There's 3 episodes out, which we are a little
Okay.
behind,
Well,
unfortunately. They aired at the same time.
Okay, guys. Well, I think I've only seen one episode.
You and me both. Yes.
And which of course was the introduction of the entire show and all the characters and everything. And I think So far, I hope I'm not premature, but I think so far it's kind of funny and quirky. I think that you will enjoy it because I kind of enjoyed it's silly and funny and quirky. And I think Tiffany's going to shine a little bit in this one. I think we're going to see Tiffany shine. I think so.
So far, so good. We will next week.
It's looking pretty good so far.
Next week we'll have 4 episodes to review for you guys.
And we'll talk about it next week, guys. But so far, it's looking pretty good.
So the other major series that actually there's a couple. Oh my gosh, boy, we watch a lot of shows, man. So the other series that we watched that I guess it's a limited series. It may not be based on the ending without giving you too much information. The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. And this stars Kristen Bell, Michael Ealy, and Tom Riley, and Mary Holland. Now, I like Kristen Bell. I like Michael Ealy. I didn't like this. This is about Anna, who is played by Kristen Bell, is mourning. And, we soon find out why she's mourning. She's living alone. She is drinking a lot. She becomes enamored with her next door neighbor, who's a, attractive man, until she witnesses a murder from her window. So, Ma, what do you think about The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window? What are your thoughts on this?
I have to be very careful about this because I don't want to give
away.
Don't
be careful, Ma.
I don't want to give away a lot of information.
Don't be careful. That's why everybody loves you, because you're not careful.
No, but I am careful because, I don't want to do spoilers, remember? So what I'm going to say to you.
Be you.
I'm always me. I'm always me, as me as I know how to be. And what I'm going to say to you is that initially it appeared a little bit interesting and then it got really silly. Okay. So that's what I'm going to say to you. I'm going to say that the female lead, Kristen Bell.
She's in Let It Go. She's with Dax Shepard. Remember from Parenthood?
Yeah.
They're cute. I like them together.
Well, good. They maybe needed to do this together. But she is mourning a loss. Okay, she's had a significant loss when it comes on, and she's she's loves her wine and she's drinking excessively, and plus she's popping all kind of pills. Michael Ealy plays her ex-husband, divorced husband, and he's a psychiatrist. And so he's, prescribing all these pills for her in a loving, caring way, not in any kind of sinister, destructive way, And she, of course, nobody believes her. They think she's still in mourning when she reports that she's witnessed a murder. And then it's a rocky road all the way through to the end. And I've seen the entire series. I will not divulge the end.
You can talk a little bit about it, Ma.
Well,
you can go a little bit more because it doesn't deserve us necessarily. I like Christian. Like I said, I like Kristen Bell and like Michael Ealy. So no disrespect, guys, but this is a drinking series to me. This is a series to have fun drinking with.
Yeah, you better bet. Put it this way. Kristen Bell sort of solves all the mysteries, okay? Let's just put it that way. And she goes through a rocky road, of, people not believing her, and sometimes she gets it wrong. And, and it's just a very convoluted sort of story. Mm-hmm. And in the end, I don't think the villain is going to be, that was a surprise. I think the villain was a little of a surprise. And I think
100%.
And I think the person who ended up being the villain was a little bit of a surprise and also lacked credibility. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh,
So,
listen,
you know,
we can't tell you that we can't tell you who the killer is because it ruins it completely. But what we can say is that there was a lot of things that just didn't make sense. The one good thing, Ma, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, and this is kind of weird. I think they had a really nice sex scene. It was just
oh
thrown in
yeah,
there.
I was hoping that she would have a full blown affair with the
Oh,
guy, but
right.
they just, you know, but
They
they
just
just took him away, you know. So
right. That was, to me, that was the best part of it. It was kind of not 100% like 50 shades of gray, but it was in, it just didn't make any sense and they threw it in there. But I like that. And everybody was it was nice. It was fine. Okay, so moving forward, Michael
yes, the
Ealy,
sex scene was very cute. Mhm.
right. Michael Ealy is a psychiatrist. Some of the decisions that he made did not make sense. That was ridiculous. Okay. When you start watching the picture, you think, oh, okay, so this looks like this could be like a cheesy series. But they're not going to do that because they have Christian Bell and they have Michael Ealy. So they're going to make some type of sense out of it. And it's going to be a good series. They just decided they were going
They
to
did not.
abandon that.
They
They
did
did
not.
not.
The writers made a couple of poor,
Yeah.
really poor basic choices,
Yeah.
very basic things.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, nothing complicated, just really simple things that would never have happened the way they depicted it.
No. And I don't know if you want to review. Well, I don't know if this is a limited series or not, because as we know, and I think we can say this without revealing too much, there was a cameo from, was that Glenn Close?
I think so.
I think it was her.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ma, what do you give this series? We don't know if it's limited or not. What do you give this series?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
So you're giving it a premium?
I'm giving it a low premium, high between high hooch and low premium. Giving it the low premium
Mm-hmm.
because the reason I'm doing that is because there's some parts of it that you would be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're interested enough to buy in and keep watching it. I mean, I don't recall
That's
falling
me.
asleep on it.
That
I
that
don't
was
fall
me.
asleep on it or anything like I have with other, movies. But then you're somehow disappointed. What is interesting and what may prove to be really worthwhile is the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cliffhanger.
And right. And you know that these writers have the ability to do some decent writing, but they have been inconsistent in this
Oh,
first season.
oh,
They
for
have been
sure.
very inconsistent because it's like you're at the top. Once again, it's that roller coaster kind of effect. You're at the top of the roller coaster and then you sink all the way down to the bottom, to
Down,
go
down. That's where
right.
they're
There
going.
you go. There you go. So we don't know which way this whole thing is going to go with the next, if there's a next season, we don't know where it's going to go. I'm hoping that it just gets better.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And that Glenn Close was involved in the like cliffhanger kind of thing makes me
It's a good
hopeful.
sign because
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
a
but
phenomenal
she's good.
actress.
Right, right.
She's good.
So you're very hopeful and you think it's going to be even better than the first one was.
And I will say to you that in particular, I like Michael Ealy, but we know Michael Ealy, he pops in shows and goes on and disappears. Christian Bell, the things that I've seen her in, she's been good in, and usually it's a good picture because she was in the picture with Ted Danson. I can't think of it right now. It was a good place. She was in the picture with Don Cheadle. I can't think of the name of it right now, but Don Cheadle was really, really good in it. anyway, she's good. She was in Frozen. So I have high hopes for it. So we'll see if they do a second season or not. They left it up there.
And also we've seen the writers elevate, you know, and subsequent, you know, follow up sequels and so forth. So we know that can happen. It doesn't always, but sometimes it does happen. You know, so let's just see how this one goes. I will watch it. I will tune in for the second season to see give it a shot. I'll give the second season a shot.
I didn't give it a review, but I will give it a low premium. I'm gonna go at a 5.5 just because I thought the sex scene was good. And I think that the characters that they have, the way they ended it, I want to see what would possibly happen.
The other piece of it is that you know, a couple of these characters were pretty likable. You know, she's likable. Okay.
Michael Ealy.
And Michael Ealy is likable.
Yeah.
You know, so
the best friend is likable.
Is good. She's really good. So a couple of these characters are pretty charismatic. You know, a couple of these characters are really likable. And so, you know, you want to give them a chance. You want to see what's going on in their lives. And then also, there's also the thing between Michael Ealy and Christian Bale, because although they are divorced, they seem to be kind of warm and fuzzy toward each other. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
We didn't really know that until the very end.
Yeah.
And in the very end, they depicted that, you know, we know that, right? They show that kind of thing. And there was you know, there's you know, they were affectionate toward each other. So, you know, so let's just see how it goes. But guys, you know, you can watch it. Yeah. You know, you'll be okay. You can watch it if there's not a 4-star movie on. You can watch it, you know.
You mean a top shelf movie on?
There you go.
Okay, so the next series, and everybody knows how I love this series, is And Just Like That. That was on. Okay, so And Just Like That, this was an episode where Carrie went on a date. Charlotte thought she had
Wasn't Carrie supposed to go on a date?
Oh, my bad.
Went and met the guy and told the guy, "Oh, we're not going to have dinner."
She did. She told him, you're right. She told the guy she was going to have dinner. Charlotte thinks that she has finished going through menopause, but that was not the case.
That's not
and Lily,
she told the guy that she wasn't going to have dinner with him.
She told the guy she wasn't going to have dinner.
And of course,
my bad.
She had to dress up.
She went and saw him.
She went and met him and told him in person and hugged him goodbye and walked away, which was the most ridiculous thing in the world, because if she did all that, then she could have just went on and had dinner with him.
Well, because they were there at the restaurant. Why not eat?
To me, that was just like completely asinine. I'm not, going for that one at all, But anyhow, that's what they did.
And then the other, like I said, Charlotte going through menopause, thinking she handled it better than her friends. That was ridiculous. But the worst thing with Charlotte was her daughter Lily and the freaking tampon.
And that whole ridiculous thing they went through with the tampon. That was the most ridiculous thing in the world. The most indulgent parent and the most spoiled child would never go through all that. Look.
You didn't help me get my tampon out, Ma?
I don't even want to
go. Wait, Ma, you didn't help me get my tampon out?
Didn't help you get it out, didn't help you put it in. Okay. You got two choices, and you know the one that requires the tampon. What on God's earth do you need? The string is on the outside. The string is on the exterior. The little pad is on the interior. Hello, goodbye. And wait a minute. And this is supposed to be a brainy little girl. Okay.
Well, she's 15. She didn't get her period. But wait, she didn't get her period when she was 9 or 10, which you and I did.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So she got at 15. you know, you
Listen, I
know.
can make a whole lot of jokes, but I'm not going to do it because it's not right. So I won't make any jokes, but I will simply say it was ridiculous. They
Yes.
spent so much time on showing how this girl was afraid to or didn't understand. I think the whole thing is that she was afraid because she was a virgin and she didn't want to stick a tampon, insert a tampon into her vaginal cavity, or whatever. It was just some of the craziest nonsense in the world. And after about 10 or 20 minutes of the screen time on that foolishness, the mother finally says, look, put it in the hole. I'm gone. Right?
Okay, yes.
It was the craziest thing in the world. And I guess she did. I mean, but wait a minute. Here's the other thing. Wait a minute. If you're really that afraid, they still do have alternatives to tampons. They
do.
still have other things that women can use. Okay. So, it's like, look, you're either going to use this or that, or both. Now, young lady, go ahead. Wait a minute. You got a sister there, although her name is Rock or whatever is her
No, it's
name.
they.
What
it's
is
they.
it?
It's they.
No, she is they.
It's Rock. It's Rock.
Her
it's
name
Rock.
is Rock, right? Although Rock is there, Rock has a period.
But Rock is younger.
Oh, Rock maybe period didn't come yet. Oh, okay.
Rock is younger.
I don't know what they're doing, but whatever they're doing, don't you have friends who have their period?
Yes.
All that?
I mean, I think most people by the time they're 15 have had their period.
I don't know anybody who had a period that started that late, but whatever.
I don't know any either.
Listen, whatever is the case, this girl is supposed to be a sensible young lady. They just made her seem like she just was really ridiculous.
Listen, my issue with that is we all do weird things. Like I have things that most people say, what? Little things that you would think are simple.
Yes,
we all.
Yes. We
but
have those little quirks.
But they spent too much time on the show on that. We don't care. Really we don't care.
Yeah, you know what? And the thing about it, and it made me mad with the writers. I said to myself, geez, I see what Peju was saying, that she just really can't stand this picture. It's just too ridiculous. And it hit an all-time low this week. And then to me, this episode, it hit an all-time low.
And then we did not discuss the main thing was, we didn't discuss last week because Steve and Miranda, I guess, are getting a divorce. She asked for a divorce from Steve.
Oh, but Steve is not getting a divorce.
Well, no, he's keeping his ring on.
Oh, yeah, he's keeping his ring.
Till he dies.
I'm like, Steve, you're keeping your ring till you die, but yet you won't spend 2 or 3 minutes to try to engage your wife. You're going to keep your ring until you just fall over and croak, but yet you won't spend. How many minutes did you spend with your wife trying to, rejuvenate your sex life? How many minutes did you spend with her then? But yet you care so much, you're never taking your ring off.
And listen,
I don't appreciate that.
I don't know what they did with this. Like, listen, 55, 56 or whatever, that's not young. Nobody's going to sit here and say that's young, but it's not decrepit.
Right.
And especially in this era that we live in. I think Steve is he's like 60. I don't know how old he's supposed to be on the show. Right. But come on, like they act like they are in their late 70s, 80s.
Listen, they have drugs, they have vitamins, they have everything to put some pep in their step. Now, but let me tell you something. Charlotte has always seemed like something from Gone with the Wind. Okay, because that's just her
character.
She's always been like that. Okay, she didn't necessarily seem old, but she certainly didn't seem young. She never has. But she's kind of where she always was with kids, so she hasn't really lost that, so she's kind of okay where she is as far as I'm concerned. Miranda always seemed old. She never seemed energetic.
But she
She
seemed
never
more
seemed to be
progressive,
so
and now she seems confused about what
right.
is
Now
progressive.
she seems silly.
Yeah.
You go to the woman's house and bring her cookies and turn around
It's
and leave.
not a woman.
Oh, you go
It's
to
they.
you go to they's house and then and bring them some cookies or whatever, and you turn around and they're home and they invite you in and you turn around because that's not what Meg Ryan would do. What the hell is wrong with you? You know, what the hell is wrong with you? You and this person, they are real. Meg Ryan ain't real to you.
Right.
Meg Ryan is a celluloid person up there on the damn screen.
Yeah.
She's not real in your life.
Yeah.
Why is that part of, and you're not no silly ass teeny bopper. You know, you're supposed to be an adult woman. What is wrong with you? You had the nerve and the temerity and everything else to go over to this woman's house. Why are you leaving when she tells you to come in when you know you really want to see her? And then you quote something for Meg Ryan like you a silly teenager. It's ridiculous. The writers, I don't, like I said, Samantha, you just did the right thing. Man,
and Kim Cattrall, thing.
Oh my God, Kim Cattrall, you were just totally, you were damn clairvoyant. Oh my God, you were a savant for getting away from these people.
So we have been talking a lot. So let's just kind of quickly go through the pitches that we normally do so we can get to a little bit of Married at First Sight and then, our
all right, move it on.
All right, I'm going. Okay, so This Is Us. Nothing really new to add here. Jack was dealing with his mom's death.
Jack's mom passed, right? Yeah. That the whole episode was just
sad.
Coming to terms, right, with the loss of his mom. Yeah.
Peacemaker. I enjoyed this episode of Peacemaker. I recommend you guys watch Peacemaker. We're all finding out what the freak butterflies are.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Adebayo, or Bio. Adebayo, she's
on it.
Yeah, boy.
She's on it. Yeah. And so we don't know what's gonna.
A little bit of a cliffhanger there.
Yeah.
She's made a discovery that she really didn't want to make.
Yes, you can say what it is, Ma. It's a series, so we want you. You can say.
Okay, so there was a butterfly. She found out that
her boss,
has been infected with the butterfly,
and we don't know really what the butterfly is, or I guess think the butterfly is bad.
Is the enemy.
We know right?
Butterfly is the enemy. Okay. So,
Power Book 2. There's so much. We're gonna talk more about it next episode because I think next episode is the finale, right?
I think that was really the finale. Or we coming up on the
I think we're coming up on the finale. Yeah. Okay. I think that was
Power
penultimate.
Smoking. You know what? And you know what? And I don't know about the writers and so on and so forth, but they are doing it. The writers are doing it. I don't know if they just have so much information already, and they're just writing what is actually going on. But I mean, it is fire. It is smoking. It is good. It is riveting. You hear me? It is good. You will be on the edge of your seat for all of it. And Mary, your
Monet,
Mary, aka Monet, your character is just a super duper villain. But guess what? But you know what? You really, really have elevated in the role.
Initially, she did. Because in the beginning, I was not feeling Mary.
Go Mary J, aka Monet. You have really, really, really stepped it up.
What I will say about this is there's a lot going on here. We don't know. There's a lot of cliffhangers with this last episode. But
Mary J, aka Monet, you are Ma Barker. You are Ma Barker. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
Ma Barker is like the prototype, the original mother crime boss.
Okay, so you have to. I know everybody is of a certain age. Listen to this, but there's certain people who are not a certain age.
This is not even just of any age. This is just of a aficionado of crime and crime family. Ma Barker, Ma Barker, Barker. Look it up, guys. Anybody interested? Mary J is Ma Barker, and that is a compliment within that context.
Well. Okay, well, thank you, man. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. What I want to say, like I said, there's some cliffhangers, but also what is circulating on the internet is that, and if you remember, in book one, Tommy asked Ghost what happened to his brother, and Ghost called him that Spanish MFA, and Ghost said he was in the military. Then Monet and Mecca, who was Dante, talked about how he left her to join the military.
Right.
And Ghost speaks Spanish too. Remember that, Mom.
That is
and
correct.
So we don't know. We're thinking that they could Ghost and Dante slash Mecca are brothers.
They could be brothers.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's smoking.
It's so much better than the first season. It just really is.
You know what? And I just want to say, hats off to 50 in them. 50 of them, 50 of those involved, the writers, the producers, to everybody, because they are doing it to death. It's super duper entertaining. You will love it. You will love it.
Okay, and then the other two shows, Boba Fett, we'll talk about next week. Boba Fett I thought it was good this episode because it was the Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mando was back.
Yeah, I love that.
Mando was coming on the job to help Boba Fett.
And then Righteous Gemstones was actually pretty good this episode, because this episode there was some things divulged in here. I thought it was good. There was some cover-ups and everything. So this one was good, because a lot of times Righteous Gemstones are so silly, but this one had a story to it.
But this time we know that there's some super duper shade. Oh yeah, this time we see that. Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to say what, but there's some bodies buried.
There's some bodies buried. Yeah, we can talk. We can talk more about it. Like I said, for series, we can give out more information, but movies, we try to keep the spoilers. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Married at First Sight. Then we gotta, close it out. So Mark and Lindsay, which Lindsay is just likes to drink too much.
Lindsay might just be a little bit too over the top for him. Yeah. I'm not sure too much. Isn't Lindsay a nurse? Am I confusing her profession?
She used to be. She said that she used to be. I don't know what her profession is now, but she clearly said she used
drinking
to be.
A little bit too much to be.
Now she's not doing that. She kind of made it clear. Like my issue with her was she got into an altercation with Olajuwon and also apparently Katina, but in particular Olajuwon, and this was all about them speaking Spanish in Puerto Rico. And I felt that she was going too far.
Throughout the whole thing, they're acting like Puerto Rico was another country. No, it's not mainland, but it's the United States. They also speak English.
All right. That was very strange.
It's just I'm saying to myself, what the hell is wrong with them? Are they crazy?
Well, it was kind of a little cringeworthy for a lot of people watching it, because Lindsay said that Olajuwon triggered her because of his body movements, language.
That was racialized talk, right?
Right. That was So that was not cool on her part, and so we'll see how it works with Mark, because Mark seems like a cool dude. Whatever, he seems like a chill, fun type of guy.
He seems like a sweetie,
right?
And I don't know about Lindsay. But let's see how that meshes with her temperament.
All right. You're right. And so Katina and Olajuwon, I don't know. I just feel like Olajuwon is led by sex, and I feel like Katina's going to get caught up in that way.
He seems very adventurous.
We'll see.
Remember, never forget he was saying he was going to try something new.
Yeah, we'll see.
And he's referring to marriage, which is a little bit more serious than just trying
something new. Right. Noy and Steve, I'm worried about them because Steve is not
unemployed,
and his attitude towards
and he's unemployed.
Seeking employment.
He's like, how dare you mention employment to me?
And he's 38. And Noy wants to have children. He's not.
If he's 98 with no job, all good when it's just you.
Well, that's what I'm. You decided to get married. You decided to get married. Right. You're right, Ma. You know what? And I don't, because you should never talk about whatever people want to do at whatever age, because you could be 58, 68, whatever. That's fine if you by yourself. When you incorporate somebody else, that's the issue.
Right. When you partner up, a different story.
Jasmina and Michael, I'm hoping the best for them, but I don't see the chemistry between them. It seems like I don't know. They seem like they like
You know what? In my mind, when I see them, you know what I see?
Mm-hmm.
When I see them, I see a big fight.
That's it.
When I see them, I'm like, oh,
combative. Yes.
Yeah. That's just what I see.
Yeah, I'm not feeling them. And then finally, the worst couple, and not that Chris is fine. He seems like a good guy. Alyssa is terrible.
I will
terrible.
Have nothing.
The wife from hell.
Nothing. If I was Chris, I would have nothing for her when we get back to wherever the heck that we're returning to. I forget where
they're Puerto Rico, and they're going to Boston.
I mean, I know they're in Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's right.
Who does she think she is?
When I get back to whatever,
I don't care.
I wouldn't even care how delusional she is or whatever. When I get back where I'm going, I'd be like, look, I'm out.
Ma, you could be the most beautiful.
If I'm Chris, it'd be I'm out.
Ma, you could be the most beautiful person in the world. You could be the richest person in the world. You could be the most successful person in the world. Don't ever treat a human being like that. She is none of those things.
There you go.
What is wrong with her?
We are all worthy of respect. This woman is nasty. She's dishonest. She's disagreeable. She's everything. I'm hoping Chris is going to get it and don't let his emotional self have to go through the mud, be drugged through everything before he acknowledges what's in front of his eyes.
Right.
I'm hoping, and I don't like when these people talk about the process. Process my arse. What you mean process? My feelings are here. Okay. Right. My feelings are here. I don't care anything about your process. She's not adhering to any process.
No, she's not.
She's not honoring nothing. Nothing we said, nothing we're doing. This woman is totally breaching everything that we said. Okay.
I'm in total agreement.
So therefore, I would have nothing for her. And I hope that Chris, who's just seemed like, listen, Chris just seems like a sweetie to me.
He does.
And he does not deserve whatever it is she's dishing. You know what? Go ahead on around the corner down the street. Go where it'd be. Bye, Felicia.
Listen, they'll find there's plenty of guys out there for you that'll show you something that you never seen before, not in a good way.
Right.
So
they'll let you see. Oh, they'll have something for you, honey.
Yeah.
They'll have something for you. You can't appreciate a nice, decent, sweet guy, baby. They got something out there for you, and they'll show you.
Right. So, okay. So, my 3 things that made you smile.
You don't never have to ask me. Every day that I can experience the sun, the stars, the moon. Okay,
for me, I'm so happy for Rafa Nadal winning the 21st major, the Australia Open. Go Rafa!
Rafa's an advocate. He's an advocate. I like Rafa.
Go Rafa!
He's an advocate for the people. I like Rafa.
I love it. Yeah. Number 2 is Apple is spotlighting Black voices during Black History Month from Apple Music, Fitness, Podcast. Check it out. We are also on Apple Podcast.
So yes, guys, we're on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget us. Yeah.
And then number 3 is Shonda Rhimes has a new series coming out, and we will be talking about it called Anna, and it is starring our girl from Ozark, Julia Garner. You know, Ruth.
Yes,
starring her.
Ruth. So I'm
gonna say that, and I think
Ruth is a pistol. Ruth is good.
I love Ruth. So that's our show. Unless there's anything else you want to say, because I'll do the outro. Anything?
I want to thank all of our subscribers, all of our listeners. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. And we are on YouTube as well as in podcast form. We are also on YouTube. And we also have our shop.
We have a Bamgboshe Happy Hour shop on Etsy. Like mine said, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on all social media platforms, guys, on All Things FaceU, and of course at the Bamgboshe Happy Hour. And guys, if you want, you can DM us or respond to our posts, some comments. And what is it? Oh, we have some special guests.
We value and appreciate your comments.
Yes,
and
yes.
We'll respond.
We'll
Okay,
respond.
guys.
And guys, we have some special guests coming up very soon. So, thank you so much, guys. We love you.
Thank you.
And that's it, right, Ma?
That's it.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.